Hello everyone, welcome to the Blind 75 LeetCode question series. We have already covered the 3 questions. Now let's continue with the next one, that is product of array except self. Now as the question says, we are given an array, okay, and we have to find the product of the whole array except that particular index. Now what does this mean? So let's say we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So basically if we consider this, then if we multiply this array, if we find the product of this array, we cannot include 1. So that's going to be 4 3s are 12, 2s are 24. Okay. Now if we are considering this one, then we cannot include 2 in the product. So that is 4 3s are 12, 1s are 12. Now let's continue. So we cannot include 3. So that's going to be 4 into 2, 8, 1s are 8. And here we cannot include 4. So that's going to be 3, 2s are 6, 1s are 6. Okay, so this is going to be our final answer. Now how are we going to solve this? So basically there are multiple ways to solve this. The first approach is the brute force approach. Okay, that's going to take big O of n square time complexity. Okay, in that what we'll do is that we'll have, let's say, an outer loop that is I and an inner loop that is j. So if we have an element I that is equals to j, we will not include in our product. Okay, otherwise we will multiply it, and whatever answer we get in the end, we will return that. Okay, it is the brute force approach is really easy. You can try it on your own if you want to. The second approach is that we will find the product of the whole array and store it in a variable. So let's say I'll take a variable v and I store it in let's say in the variable v, and the product of this whole array is going to be 4 3s are 12, 2s are 24, 1s are 24. Okay, now after finding this particular product, what we'll do is that we'll go through the array, this whole array, and whatever value we found, okay, whatever value we find, we'll divide v by that value. So let's say we are going through this 1, 2, 3 and 4. Our variable is 24. So 24 by 1, that's going to be 24. 24 by 24 by 2, that's 12. 24 by 3, that's 8. And 24 by 4, that's 6. Okay. So now this is the second approach. But these two approaches, they are great, but there are certain conditions that are given to us in the question. So what are those? So first thing is that you must write an algorithm that runs in big O of n time complexity. Okay, that means our brute force approach is not acceptable in this particular problem. Another thing is that without using the division operation. Okay, now that's another issue. So we cannot have the second approach as well, where we take our product in a different variable. That is also not acceptable. So, and if you see in the follow-up question, we can see that can you solve the problem in big O of 1 extra space complexity? Okay, that means we cannot use any other hash map, hash set or array list to store the values in different data structure, right? So that is also out of the question. So how are we going to solve this? So here we are going to take the help of mathematics. Okay, so maths is going to help us, but how? So let me show you. This is a trick that we are going to use. So let's say we take a temporary, okay, and the size of it is going to be the same as nums. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so basically this approach is called 2-pass approach. Okay, basically we are going to go through the array twice. Okay, so first of all, in the temporary, we'll assign value 1. Okay, and whatever value we get, we'll multiply with that. So 1 into 1, that is 1. 1 into 2. Okay, so right now it was like this. Okay, 1 into 2, that is 2. 2 3s are 6. Okay, now this was the first pass. Let me write it over here. This was the first pass. Okay, now comes the second pass. In second pass, this thing is going to remain as it is. Okay, and the first value is also going to be as it is, but instead of going from left to right, we are going to go from right to left. Okay, so whatever we did, the same thing, but instead of left to right, right to left. So 1 into 4, the last element, that's 4. 4 into 3, okay, that's 12. 12 into 2, that's 24. Okay, now half of our problem is already solved. So what are we going to do next? For the next half, what we'll do is that we'll start from here or here. It doesn't matter. You can start here, like you can take I here, J here, or I like J here, or I here. It's up to you. Okay. For the right now on this particular example, I'm taking like this. Okay. We'll multiply these two values, and whatever value we get will be our answer. Okay. So 24 into 1, that's 24. We'll decrement our j and increment our I. 12 into 1, that's 12. Decrement our j, increment our I. 4 2s are 8. Decrement our j, increment our I. 1 6 are 6. So if you will see here, we have got our answer. Okay. So it is really that simple. So I hope you understood this, and if not, then you can go back and look at whatever place you did not understand. Okay, now let's jump into the code and see how are we going to do this. So the first thing that it requires is we need to return the result, right? So just a minute. Yeah, so first thing is the result. Result, that is going to be the size of nums. Okay, now another thing that we require is our temp. Now you might wonder that we are using these two temporary different arrays. No, we are not using an array, we are using a variable. Okay, so that will be easier, and because we do not have to use any additional space, so that's why variable will be the best option. So temp is going to be 1. Okay, why 1? Because we are multiplying it, right? If you put it as 0, then it won't make any sense. Now let's go through. Okay, let me write it over here. The first pass. This is our first pass. The first pass, we go from left to right. Okay, what we do? Result at index I, that is going to be temp, and temp will multiply with nums of I and store it back to temp. That's what we are doing, right? 1 multiplied by 2, and whatever result we get, we store back to temp. Okay, so that's our first pass. So after we do this, we will get this array in the form of our result. Okay, now the second pass. In the second pass, we go from right to left. Okay, and just one minor difference is that we are multiplying this right now. Okay, why? Because as you see, we have to multiply with these values, right? Okay, so that part we are doing over here, and while storing the temp, that's going to be same. Okay, and at the end we'll simply return our result. So now let me submit this. I already made a video. Okay, result at index I. Yeah, submit. Okay, we are getting a wrong answer. Okay, I forgot to reassign our temp. Okay, because we are starting with 1 again, right? So now let me submit this, and I hope I did not make any other mistake. I already recorded this video yesterday, but because of some issue, I forgot to turn on my mic, and because of that, I lost all my audio, and that's why I have to record this again. But you can see, like, we have got our answer, and it was really that easy. Now there's one short change, that is shorthand kind of thing you can do over here. Okay, instead of using this temp here, you can also use here. Okay, inside the for loop, and I'll just write it here. Okay, this will also give you the same result. Okay, while we are going through the for loop, we reassign our temp. Okay, So I think we are good with this, and I hope you understood this and you learned something new. And yeah, so that's it for this video. Do let me know if you have any other problems for me to solve from any other platform, and do also let me know how are you enjoying this blind 75 LeetCode series. And yeah, so if you have any other suggestions for me as well, I'm pretty open for that. I'll be happy to get some constructive criticism as well. Okay, so thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Till then, keep coding.